Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. We have got 3 shows today. We are looking at a warm welcome, which was our brand new launch yesterday. So if you missed me and Dave yesterday, or the last show with me yesterday, we've got lots of inspiration today. We are on at 10, 12 and 2. At 2 o'clock we will be doing the DT showcase as well, so you can see some of the design team cards being made. Me and Bunny are here though all day, so if you want to message in, if you've got any questions, if you want us to show you something in a bit more detail, we would love to hear from you, so do message in. Or if you're waiting for your order to be delivered today, we had so many messages yesterday saying they had ordered and had been dispatched, so maybe you'll be getting yours today and you can craft along with us. But we are going to be looking at a warm welcome. So this is the collection here that you can see. It is our brand new collection that launched yesterday, and we are at almost at 40% of the stock of this has gone. It's item number 250901. You can see a warm welcome, or you can scan the QR code there. It is on a show price for you, which will go back up at midnight on Friday. So you can see we've got our dorsal card shape, which is your card shape that you get in this collection. It's such an unusual card shape. I will show it to you with the samples though, so you can see really how that comes to life. And then you've also got all of your florals in here as well. So you can see you've got your bouquet here down the bottom. You've got that bottom element. And then if I just lift that up, you'll see. Whoop. And you have all of your decoupage as well. Now you've also got this spine element which sits in the middle there for you to decorate. Now one of the things that's been designed perfectly to go with that is the elegant words. So you can see they have got a bottom on them that will fit perfectly along these lines. Really big sentiments. You can equally cut that bottom bit out and have the sentiment just as they are. You've got the mats for them as well. I think they're such lovely sentiments as well. The size on them is really lovely, and you can add different sentiments into them as well. So you could have with cheer, celebrations add in, or you could add a stamp in and add other sentiments in with them. But there's such usable wording you could use for memory books, scrapbooking, home decor, lots of elements you can bring those into. Then we've got the florist's flourishes that you can see here, which is just such a usable die on its own. This is one that you are going to use so much without realizing. These are going to be all your grounding elements, your filler elements. They just complete your scenes. Then you've got branching out, so you've got that amazing tree there. You've got the branch that will fit into the tree too. You've got the birdhouse and the branches. You've got kind of like your spring leaves and then your autumn leaves in there as well. And then you can see we got a light snack here, which is just the cutest squirrel there with Holly's acorns, and you've got that acorn there to decoupage up too. And then we've got the forager's bounty. So you've got the mushrooms there, you've got the mat for this, but the artwork on this, when I show you on the board, it's so incredibly detailed. The artwork is amazing on that one. And then we've got let's get ready to ramble. So you've got your hiking boots or your walking boots. You've got the hat there and the little stool, which I think is so lovely. I'm going to quickly show you as well, because we've also got the triptych card shape. Now this has been extremely popular, and I know exactly why, but this is item number 250909, again on that show price for you of $29.99. You've got the QR code there as well. Now we are 70% of the stock of this has gone, and I'm just going to flip it round so you can see it is such a large die. But why I think this has been so popular is because this is one that you are going to keep out all year round. You can use this for Easter cards, birthday cards, Valentine's, Christmas, Halloween. This is just such a different and unusual card shape that you will use all year round. It is so incredibly detailed. Absolutely love it, and obviously you guys at home are loving that as well. And then we've got the perfect papers here. So you've got a warm welcome perfect papers. You've got 48 sheets in here. It is 300 GSM. These are 14.99. You have got your P&P on here, but obviously if you add these in to the card shape, or if you add it into the bundle, you're going to get into that free P&P mark. So great one to add in. Obviously the colours in here have been pulled out from the artwork, so they're going to work perfectly. You've got your solids, you've got that gingham check design, and then you can see you've got your Dainty Daisy in there as well, but beautiful colours. I'm going to show you some of the design team samples. I'm going to start off with this one that Vera has done. Now this shows you exactly how that dorsal card shape comes to life. Okay, now this will go flat, so you can either fold it flat for posting like that, or you can fold it in half like that. And so we'll fold flat, and then this just pops up like so. So that's how they stand up. So you've got the feet there, and that will stand up with the sentiment on the side, so you can see how that sentiment will fit into that side element. Equally though, I got another one here Vera did. You could use it without the sentiment as well, so you could have it like that, which I think is such a lovely way of using that one. And then let me just move that. I've got one here that Pam has done. So you can see, I love the colours in this collection. Like I really like autumn anyway, so just the colours in autumn, they just, I don't know, it's like the cozy season, isn't it? It's like, you know, you can just, it's like you just stay in more, stay in the warm, but everything outside, you know, when you're going out. I said yesterday, the last couple of days now when I've been driving, I've started to see now the trees leaves are starting to change colour, and for me it just looks so pretty. When you're driving you can see all the trees and they're all different shades of oranges and red. Everything just looks so pretty, and this is what this collection has just captured so well, the prettiness of nature, those colours. And obviously you do have this amazing card shape in there to work with as well, so you can see there. And then I'm also going to just quickly show you, because I've got two samples here using the triptych card shape. So you can see now this one Barbara has done, and you can see she's actually cut one of the edges off to just make it a card like that, which I think again looks so pretty. And you can see how Barbara's used the decoupage from the acorn and actually popped them into the tree as well, which looks really lovely. Oh, it does. Bunny's just said the tree looks like there's a breeze there and it's getting blown around. There's just so much movement in the artwork, isn't there? And then I've got one here by Janine, and you can see she's added on that spine element onto here to give you that sentiment on the side, and then added the tree in there. But can you see all of the flourishes? You can see how they just work in so well, and it really does help complete that scene. So I'm going to leave that there. Let's go over here, and I'm going to just grab the, we're doing the boards? Yep. Let's grab the boards so you can have a look at what is in each one. So we'll start off with that dorsal card shape. So you can see you've got that base. Now the base for this is really easy to use. One cut of your die cutting machine, and you have that base with that built-in aperture. So this aperture is built into that card base, so you don't need to try and worry about where anything goes, and your score lines are built into the die. So once you've run that through, you can cut out each of your mats and layers, and you can see exactly where they fit because you've got those score lines, so you can see where everything goes, and then you've got that base there. In that one as well, you also do get the florals to go with this, so you can see you've got almost like your larger bouquet, and then you've got that smaller like grounding flowers there as well. But you get so much decoupage with these as well that you can really add them in and build up your own. They work so well together as well, as you can easily go in and like add you know, even just adding that one onto there, you can see how it just extends it. So you can go in and extend these or change the shape of them. You can have so much fun with these. They're really usable to use, even if you wanted one more like on a corner element. You can see how they just work, and then you can just add more in, add your decoupage. So you can easily go in and change the shapes of how you want these to fit. Then you've got elegant words, these lovely big sentiments. You've got with cheer, wonderful and fine friend. They're such lovely sentiments that you could add into so many different occasions as well. This could be the focal point of your card, and then you could maybe print out an insert on the inside, maybe for a birthday or something. They just work so well. Christmas, they would be really good. Yeah, with cheer for Christmas. Wonderful. Yeah, you could use them all for Christmas, couldn't you? You could even wrap them as well. So if you were doing like a, if you had like a box or a gift bag, they're big enough they could be the focal point on your gift bag or wrapped on something as well. Oh. Then we've got branching out. So you've got that lovely tree branch. I do as well. I love this. You've got that moss, which just looks so real on the bottom there. You've got so much artwork in there. Now, you have got a cut line right, but there you can see how that goes into there. So you can pop that branch in there and have the branch coming out. Equally, you can put the branches on the top and really build them up. If you print this out in your mirrored vignette, you could put another one next to it and make it look like a full tree. So there's so much you can do with this. And then you've got that lovely birdhouse, which I think is such a lovely touch to add that in. It works really well. Then your florist flourishes. These, I cannot tell you how much you will use these. I think I've used them on almost every demo that I have done, even if they are like tuck-ins, they're fillers, they're grounding elements, they fit in everywhere. And all of your florals, all of your scene building elements that you will have at home, these are going to work with all of them, because they're kind of like your nature's essentials, if that makes sense, because these will just fit in and work with absolutely everything. Then you've got your Forager's Bounty. Now look at that. This was the first one when I seen this collection, and I printed this out. This was the first one that I cut out, and I was like, oh, the artwork on this, it's just, you've got so much shading in there. Really easy to go in and snip into as well. So if you just wanted like that top bit, or if you wanted to cut that there, or maybe you just want the larger ones, really easy to go in and snip into, so you can have different levels and different layers onto your project. Then we've got a light snack. So you've got your cheeky little squirrel there with all of his acorns ready, not to hibernate, because we did learn yesterday squirrels do not hibernate, but he's just getting ready to stay in the warm. He doesn't want to be out, so he's just getting ready to be nice and cozy indoors. And then we've got let's get ready to ramble. So you've got your hat, your boots, and your stool there, which I just think they're just so cute. Seeing them, such lovely. We had so many messages yesterday of people saying that lots of their friends love going out walking, they love hiking. So it's just a perfect one to use for cars, for friends like that. And then I'm quickly gonna show, hang on. It's stuck under the machine. But I'm quickly going to show you the triptych card shape. So this is what this looks like. Now you can see how detailed, if I just turn that around, how detailed every part of this is. It is such an ornate die. Now for me, when I see it like this in white, I instantly think of like a wedding card, an engagement card, maybe a Christmas card. If I showed you that cut out in gold mirror card, you'd instantly think it was a Christmas die. There's just so many ways. If I did it in black and maybe put some gilding wax on it, maybe you'd instantly go to Halloween. There's so many ways that you could use this. This is just an all year round, such a lovely die. You've got the centre pit there that you will use on all of your projects. Stamp your sentiments in there. You've got your tag as well. This part here almost is like a little ribbon. You can score that bottom bit with fold in, so you can get that lovely curve effect on there. And then you've got almost like these stands that will go on the bottom, so you can frame the elements there. So you've got this one to go in there because this one is slightly bigger, and then this one to go on them two there. But you can see you've got your mats and layers as well to go in the center, and you can also cut into these as well because you have got those easy aperture design that you can snip those out or have them with the mats and layers on. So lots of ways that you can use them. So I'm just gonna move that over there, but you can see this is the collection that we are going to be using today, the Warm Welcome collection, which did launch yesterday if you missed any of the shows yesterday. So it's only the second day of launch, but it has been super popular because we are 40%, almost 40% of the stock of this has gone. Now I'm going to, oh, I've got some. Ta-da! Check me out. Right, now we're going to start off with the triptych card shape, okay? So now you can see the die itself comes like this. Such a lovely die. You can see how detailed it is, and you can see the size of it as well. So you do need an A4 die cutting machine to be able to use this, because that is giving you your full card base in one cut. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on there, and I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine. So I'm going to pop that in there. Right, so that's going to go in there. Now when that cuts out, that is going to give me the full card base. Obviously you've got your option then if you want to snip into it. So if you want to make those panels into apertures, maybe you're going to use them as like a lantern, or maybe you want them clear, you're going to put something through it like acetate or vellum. You've got options to do that. So let's pop this through. Now I am going to tell you the plates on this are very warped, so the ends just need a little bit of persuading. Yeah, it's just that little bit. Let's just snip that off. Right, so if I pull this off of here, so you can see now that it's cut. Let's get rid of that. Out lovely. So you've got one pass of your machine, and you've got your complete base. Obviously you've got little bits there that we need to just go in and pop out, but just so you get the idea, you've got that complete base there. So now obviously completely, one of the things I like about this is, and the way the design team have used them as well, like some of them have used them this way, some of them have used it that way. One of the things we were saying yesterday was you could put another one there, so like excuse that this is a different colour, but if we glued that bit and then glued that bit, and then you've got a Christmas lantern. I don't know why that has to be Christmas. Oh, it could be a Halloween lantern. You could put like cobwebs, yeah, do it in black and then put like little cobwebs and things on it. And then you can cut into these. So you have got the cut lines around there. So you can easily go in and just snip away those little lines that are just holding that panel in. So you've got the option of your mat and layers, which is what we're going to use, but I just want to cut these to show you, because you're not fussy cutting, you're just cutting away, just like how you'd cut out a topper, those little pip parts that are holding that into place, you are just going to cut them out. So you're just going to follow that line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little cuts, and then you've got it as an aperture. So now if you did it so it was like this, so it was like a lantern, you'd have that open space. You could add some vellum into that, but even like that I think it looks so pretty, and then you could just build the scene up around that, and you've got almost like that window effect there. So you can see, really usable one. So I've got one here. Now I'm going to stick two of these together, because this craft card that I've used, I think it's like 160. It's not the heaviest weight of craft card. So I'm going to just stick these two together so that they are nice and strong. So I'm just going to add a bit of So Bonnie's just said, whenever I cut anything out of craft card, it makes her think of a bourbon biscuit. I've never ever heard that before. She just thinks it looks like a biscuit. Do you know, I thought you were gonna say, whenever I cut anything out of craft card, it makes you think of Christmas, is what I thought you were gonna say. No, I know not everybody's as obsessed with Christmas as me, but I feel like you see craft cards so much at Christmas time though. It's like you always see like gift, like wrapping paper and gift bags, so that's where I thought you were going, not a biscuit. But there you go. I think we need to get Bunny some breakfast, don't we? Right, now I'm going to go in. So for this one, so like I showed you, you can easily go in and snip out to make those aperture designs. But for this one, I'm going to go in with mats and layers. Okay, so I've got the mats and layers here. These are from the Perfect Papers. So you can see that lovely, it's like a really dark burgundy colorway. It's such a lovely color. Obviously this is going to coordinate perfectly with the artwork as well. It's that really nice deep like almost like a red color, so you can see how that just perfectly matches with the flowers. So you will get that in this like check design. You'll also get it in the solid and the dainty daisy design as well. So you've got lots of options when you are putting them together, and obviously you'll get those same designs in each of those different colorways as well, because you've got that burgundy color, you've got a light and a dark cream, you've got that green color in there, and almost like that goldeny orange color as well. So really nice colorways that you can pick in the Perfect Papers. And then let's just add one more. So I am just going to add some foam tape on this back one before I stick this on. And then we can just glue. Oh, Bunny, I haven't changed my glue. Oh. I don't even know if I've got. Wait a minute. Ta-da! Oh, check me out. Right, let's add these in. So this is the Blush Natural that I'm going to add in next. So that's going to sit on there. And I think the Blush Natural works so well with this collection because it doesn't give you that harsh white, but it's just got that little tint of cream in there. So it works really well with this collection. So that's going to go on there. And then last one is going to go on there like that. Now we are going to decorate this, and I've got, so you can see there on the picture at the bottom, you've got that like banner. This is what that will look like. And now the score lines are in there for you, so you can see how that will kind of just bend back on itself. And then you've got the mat that will fit on there. So I've cut that out, and I've cut it out in the same color Perfect Paper, just in that solid. And then I've cut the blush natural again, and then it just stamped a sentiment on there. So that is going to sit there like that. So now we need to obviously decorate our card. So I'm going to come in with some of these flowers, and I think I'm going to add like that. Yeah, this is not what I planned on doing with it, but I feel like I haven't done this, so let's add some pin flare. This is so pretty. I really like the like orangey yellow colour in there. I think with that dark red it just pops so much. Such a lovely colourway. And then I'm going to put that there. And then that bit is actually, I'm going to cut that bit off. But I'm not worried about that bit because that banner is going to kind of cover that bit anyway. And then I've got these bits. So again, the same florals that come in that dorsal card shape. I'm going to add these on the sides. So that is going to sit there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. That is going to sit there like that. And then what I'm actually going to do as well is, because I've got the Florist Flourishes, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on there, and I'm going to tuck that in there like that. So you've just got those branches that come out. So it just adds more texture to your project, which sometimes can be really hard to do, to bring different textures in, but it just works so well and effortlessly as well. You don't need to go in and be thinking about, oh, how can I add this in, or how can I do this. Now before I stick, actually I'm going to just use some tape. Let's just use that, because I know it won't wiggle anywhere then. And we'll put this down. So this is going to sit on there like that. So you've got that lovely banner, and then you can see I've just curved that slightly. That is going to sit in the centre. So let's put some pin flare. So I'm going to use pin flare on this because obviously, like I said, I have curved it, so it has got shape to it. That's going to sit there like that, and then you can just go in and add in as much or as little as you would like. For this bit, I'm just going to add some of the decoupage just for these flowers here, because I do want this centre bit to kind of be the focal point, the bit that really does catch your eye. So I'm just going to add some of these on here, and I'm going to just, why will not come off my tweezers? Doesn't want to go. And then let's add, so I'm just going to add some on the bottom bit down here, so this stands out a bit. Do one more. Gosh, I need to unglue my tweezers. They have gone a bit gunky. Right, so if I lift that up, so that will just stand up like that. But I can imagine using that. Do you know the last USB that we did with the characters, you could dress them up? You could make like an actual, yeah, you could add a mirror into that and have them, or it could be like a privacy screen. It's going. But Oh, it's going. Don't lift things up while you pinful it still. But you get the idea of what it was going to look like. So you can see there. So we've used, so actually everything we used there was from the dorsal card shape, and we used some of the elements there from, no, we used the flowers from the dorsal, and we used some of the flourishes as well, and then we used the triptych card shape too, so you can see how that all came together. But it's nice to show you as well like how easy they all die cut out, because just one pass of the die machine and you can have a base that just looks so interesting straight away that you don't need to go in and worry about how to add extra bits and things like that onto them, you know. Right, let's right now. Right, you're gonna have to bear with me now, Bun. Okay. Right. So we're gonna start. Let's get these mats out of the way, so we can start with the base. Now, the base for this, you can see this is exactly how that base will come. Let's pop that out. So that is going to cut out one pass of the die cutter machine. You can see that aperture is built in, and your score lines are built in there as well. Okay, so you're just going to run that through, and you have got your card base. Now, what I've done with this is I've cut it out again, and then this bit I've cut out. So I've cut this out, and then where that line is, I've cut down there and there. So you've got that. Okay? And then this bit we are going to stick on to there. Okay, so let's glue. And that is going to, just make sure you line that score line up down the bottom. That is going to go there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just follow that line. And I'm going to just snip that bit away. There. So we've got that now. So if we fold these up and then fold that back, fold that in, that is going to stand like that. So it's almost going to stand like, almost like the triptych, or you could have it where these two come back on themselves. So it's going to be kind of like a zigzag card, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to add the mats on before I do anything else. So let's grab these. So that is going to go there. That's going to go there. So the mats you have for these, you have got 3 layers that you can add on to these if you wish. So I've got a layer of craft card that is going to go on there first. So that's going to go on. And this is going to go on. There, like that. And then you've got your next layer. So I've done white with that almost like, it's like a dark cream, like an orange cream colour. From the Perfect Papers, that is going to go on there next. So I'm just going to add foam tape onto them too. So we've just added a little bit of height in between each one of those layers, and then we can pop these on. So that's going to go there. So you can see you've got your perfect layers to go in. So the lovely thing with Carnation when they do these card shapes is they do think about all of those layers that we'd want to add in and those bits that we'd want to cover up. So you don't have to try and think of, oh, but I'm going to have to try and need to measure something or cut something out, or you don't need to think about absolutely anything with these. Everything is in the die for you. So let's add that one in. So you can see you've got those layers now that will fit on there. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing now on this front bit. So you get the exact same thing on here. So you've got the layers that will fit into those little elements. So again, you don't have to worry about trying to measure anything or cut anything out. It's built into the die for you. So that is going to go on there. So I'm using the exact same colorways that I used in the other two. So this just coordinates in. So you've got your craft card to start with, which goes on there. And you could even go in and cut that aperture out as well if you wanted to. So if you wanted to pull the aperture away, you could do that as well. And then I'm just going to add some foam on the Perfect Paper layer. So following the same, you've got that layer, and then let's add this layer in there. Oh, Linda has messaging and saying good morning to me and Bunny. Morning, Linda. Oh, and we've had a message of Amelia as well saying good morning. Morning, Amelia. And she's saying that she's waiting for the postman. Oh, that's so exciting. I love a delivery day. So when you sat there and you know something's coming, something exciting's coming. Yeah, if the weather's rubbish as well, there's nothing better than just staying in and knowing that you've got something exciting coming in the post. So that's nice. Well, I hope your delivery driver comes early to you, because mine always come. I think my postcode must be like the last one. So unless it comes with Royal Mail, because my Royal Mail delivery will come really early, my post will always come really early. But if I order anything from a delivery, from a courier that gets delivered that way, then it doesn't come, I can guarantee it will not be with me until after 3 o'clock. Yeah, so let's add, oh, missed a bit of glue there. Right, so you've got all of those mats and layers in there now. Okay, so that is going to obviously sit up. You could even, you could even make this one into a box. If I hadn't have cut it, and so you'd had the other one there, it would have gone that way. So you can make that into. That does not want to stay there. Right, let's add in the bottom panels. So even the base, which is going to be like the feet, the bit, the stand that holds the card up, you've even got the mat and layers in here for them as well. So you can see you're not measuring anything, you're not trying to work anything out. Everything is done for you. So you've got those that will just sit in there, and you've got your score lines as well built in. So you're not trying to work out what goes where, because you can easily place these in the perfect place, because you've got them score lines there to kind of guide you on where they're going to go. So we'll add that one on there, and then just for speed I'll just glue these ones in. So exact same masking layers as the top, we're just going to add in the perfect paper and then some white. That one goes on there. So add that in, and then let's grab the perfect paper. That bit does not want to stay down. I don't know what's going on. I've glued it twice. This one, add that on there. And then we've just got that white layer to go on top then. So we'll have done then the mask layer. So the next bit that we're going to do then is we're going to add that spine element in. So you can add your sentiment to that. Maybe you want to build your scene around that. You could add the tree onto it or add the flowers onto there. So there's different options of what you want to do with that spine. So once you've cut it out, that is what that is going to look like. And then they are just going to fit in there like so, and then you're just going to glue them into place. So I'm just going to flip that round, add a little bit of glue, and then I'm just going to hold them down for a second just to make sure that glue grabs it. I would always recommend using a wet glue for it because it is kind of a moving piece, but also if you put tape on there and then maybe you close the card that way to send it, then the card's going to get stuck together then. So use a wet glue. Right, so we've done that. And then let's grab the sentiment. So I've got Fine Friend. Now I've got the mat for this, and I'm going to stick this kind of there so it comes up over the card a little bit. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. So I'm just going to use my glue applicator. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue along that top edge because I'm going to stick it onto the last one. Now you do, like I said, in the sentiments you have got those lines on the bottom. So if you wanted, that line will fit perfectly on there. So you can glue them on their own like that if you want. I think it just depends on how much you want to put onto the card or what you're doing with it. But I am going to glue the mat on. And then we may as well just glue this on now over here. So I'll just add some glue around the sentiment, and then we can glue this one on. So you've got Fine Friend, and this has been cut out in the same perfect papers as well. So you can see how that will cut out with these. That should be okay. So we'll just place that on there like that, and then that's going to go there. So you've got your sentiment there then in the center. And then I'm going to bring in some of our other elements now. So I've got those mushrooms to go there. I love that, absolutely love it. The artwork is so good. You've got so much shading in there and they just look so incredibly detailed. It is one of them that you'll cut it out when you get it home, and then you'll look at it for a couple of minutes because you'll notice something different, like the spots or the texture. It's such a lovely one. And then I've also got some of the brambles, the bushes from the florist flourishes, and you can see I've gone in and I've just snipped some of them. them away to give me different size ones, and I'm going to just add a couple of these in almost around the mushrooms, just to add in some texture, and it just helps to kind of build that scene there. So you can see, just bringing them in, it really just brings that together. And then I'm gonna bring in, now I have got the boots, which I think we're gonna put these here. So I'm gonna add, what else can we add in there? Let's pop this in. So I'm just gonna use some pin flare on there. I'm gonna add that little stool. And then these boots, I'm just gonna give them a little bit of shape. So just roll them around your finger like that. And you can see they will keep their shape like that. So you can always go in, even just with your fingers with carnation, because the lines, all those little detail lines in the dies are there for that reason, to allow us to shape things and really add everything in there. So I'm gonna just add in now. So now all I'm gonna do is just go in and try and add as much texture into this as you want, really, because I think you can go quite clean and simple with this kit, because the artwork and the colours you've got in there, I think they work so well on their own. Or you can go in and really add so much in and really build up that scene. So if I lift that up, so if I just pull this forward, so now you're gonna, oh, that does not want to stay there. I'm not having much luck with my glue today, am I? So we'll go there. So it's just another way. And then you could build up, maybe you could have like a sentiment or like a verse there, or you could build it up. Or obviously if you wanted to, you could have it like that. So a different way that you could use that and bring them together. I probably do. So, and then that was one that we did. So that one was using the triptych one. That was it. We've only done two. I can show you one that I did at the end of yesterday. Too bad, I got a lower down here. Let me put that there. So I'll show you that one, because I feel like we've done a lot using the actual card shapes, but I have tried to do some, I don't want to say normal cards, but cards, you know, just our usual then, say, card shapes. So you can see it. And one of the things I really like about this is I wanted to show how you can use the actual sentiment as your grounding element. So like the whole sentiment could be the grounding element, and then you could just build that scene on top of that sentiment if you want to. Or then that one, you know, I've used it along the top of the tree, so that kind of just worked in there, and then building that scene on the bottom. But it just goes to show as well that you can go in and still keep these cards quite clean and simple looking, or you can just go in with these and add in so much texture and get so much dimension into the images. They work really, really well. I'm gonna grab the boards so you can see exactly what each one is gonna look like. Let's grab them. Just put the lid on this. The glid. Right, so we'll start with the dorsal card shape. So this is the one that we just demoed for you, so you can see exactly how that comes together. Such a unique card shape. You can see how that will just stand up independently, and then you have that lovely spine that you can see there. That is what is going to fit in those cut lines to give you that edge to put the sentiment on equally. It could be the flowers, the tree, you know, you can add in lots of different elements to that. You've got that built-in aperture there, plus, like we showed you just now, all of these mats and layers, which obviously fit in there perfectly. Then you've also got in there the florals, which I absolutely adore. You know, we've showed you there's so many ways that you can bring these in. You can change the shape of these, add more in. They're just such a usable floral. For me, the colours in this as well are just so lovely with that red, the oranges and the cream. They look really lovely. Then you've got elegant words. So you've got your sentiments that you can bring in. Now, like we showed you, you could use these completely on their own. You can use them with that dorsal card shape as well. They are such lovely sentiments. You've got with cheer, wonderful, and fine friend. And I love the font on these. They're so pretty. It's just, that's how I want to be able to write. But it wouldn't happen. But like, I could just pretend. I'd be like, yeah, I've written that out. They look so pretty. Really lovely sentiments. Then you've got branching out. So you've got that lovely big tree there that you can add the branch into the cut line if you want, or you could add it on top. And then you've got your autumn leaves and your more like spring leaves. So you could make it more of like a spring looking tree if you wanted to, or make it more of an autumn looking tree. And you've got that sweet little birdhouse there that can just be hanging off the branch, which works so well. And then you've got your florists, flourishes, which these to me are just your essentials. These work with everything, all of the seam building elements you will already have at home. These are going to work perfectly with them. They just fit in anywhere. You can even just tuck these, like when we used the flowers just now. There, even just adding the branching behind there, you can see how much texture that adds in to there, and it just elevates that project. So these to me are just a must get, because these are just going to go with so many collections you'll have as well. Then you've got your Forager's Bounty. I keep talking about this one, but it is just so lovely. You've got so much detail in there, really usable as well, because you can cut into them. So you could have the smaller ones if you needed them. You could just have the bigger ones on their own. So such a usable one. There's something really like fairies storybook about it as well for me. So really lovely. A light snack. So you've got your squirrel there with all his acorns off to have a little snack. And then we've got let's get ready to ramble. So you've got your walking boots, your stool and your hat there, which is just so lovely. And then I'm just going to show you as well, because this has been so popular, the triptych card shape. So you can see how incredibly detailed this is. Such a lovely die. You can see the card shape that will give you, but like we showed you, multiple ways that you can use this. It is approaching 75% of the stock of this is almost gone. So you can cut into these as well. So if you want to make them into apertures, absolutely do that. Or you could add them onto each other to make a longer card. You could wrap them round to make it into like a lantern. There's just so much you can do with these. You could even just cut away. We had one of the DT cards where they just used 2 panels, or you could just use 1 panel. So there's lots of different ways that you can actually mix this up. And what I love about it, and I think why this has been so popular, is because it is such ornate design. There's nothing themed about this. So this is going to be your wedding, birthday, Easter, Valentine's, Halloween, Christmas, any type of card you can use this for. So you've got your tags in there as well and your labels. So it has been very popular. Like I said, we're almost 75% of the stock have that one has gone. So if you do want to get that one, don't hang around. It is on that show price for you until Friday. That does bring us to the end of our first show. Now, like I said, me and Bunny will be back at 12, and then we will be back again at 2 o'clock with the DT showcase. So hopefully you will come